And we're live.
So I have a question for the two of you, and I will give my answer at the end. But if you have to eat one food, and by food, it's not like an apple. It can be a meal. What is one food/meal/food delivery vehicle you would eat that would give you as best a balanced diet for the rest of your life that you would also enjoy?
Nacho Supreme.
Nacho Supreme.
I am Butler Eagle Sports writer Derek Pida, and here with me today are fellow sports writer Brendan Howe and Eagle Sports editor Jake Murda Adams. This is Season 2 of the Alter Eagles Eye on Sports. We just went to Top Golf over the weekend, yesterday, Sunday, and they have like I don't want to call it a snack bar. It's literally like a restaurant there. But while you're golfing, while you're driving golf balls, a waitress comes around and, there's appetizers you can order. And one of the things we got was Nacho Supreme. It had the, dairy with the cheese. Mm-hmm. You could get it either just with no protein at all or like ground beef on it or chicken. Mm-hmm. We got the ground beef, so there's your meat. The tortilla chips, I guess that could be considered whole grain if I really want to stretch it. But lettuce, tomato, jalapenos.
So you're getting it fully loaded.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Loaded.
Is that why your arms hurt today?
My arms hurt ever since we had that big snow in January. Right here, I had to shovel snow like 4 times over the course of 2 days. Right here.
Oh, the forearm.
It just
an elbow.
Right there.
Oh, Brendan, how about you?
Mine is nowhere near as fun as Derek's. I have the Barilla protein pasta every single day. Like if I don't have Chipotle, even some days when I do have Chipotle, I have that every single day. I had that today before I came here. I mixed chicken.
Is it the gluten-free one or just the regular?
It's not gluten-free. It's like made of chickpea powder and some other things. And
well, then that's gluten-free. If they use chickpea, it typically is.
It feels nowhere as heavy as regular pasta. I can eat half. I usually do eat half a box, and I'm hungry like 2 hours later.
What are you putting on it? Like, what's your go-to?
That was my follow-up.
Usually,
sorry, Jake,
I can't believe it's not butter on the light version, and I have it measured out.
I'm sorry.
I put 3 tablespoons of that on, and then I put 42 to 45 grams of grated Parmesan cheese.
So if it's not butter, what is it?
That was such a judgmental laugh.
Fine.
It's paste that tastes like somewhat like butter.
It's like oil. It was meant to be judgmental.
It was very judgmental.
Just imagine Brendan in the kitchen with like the big chef's hat on. And
I'm not laughing at Brendan.
And he's like, like the Swedish chef.
All right.
Yeah, I could
we love you, okay? Also, your glasses are really cool. Okay.
Thank you.
That's all. I'll give him a compliment.
Those are new, right? Because you went to the doctor
You want to read what they say on the side?
Why don't you tell us?
Yeah,
guys suck.
Because the people
we
can't see.
have an audio platform.
Gucci.
Ooh, he's fancy.
I got a Gucci bag with it, actually, like a little tiny Gucci bag. Yeah.
Where? I'm getting new glasses. Where'd you get it?
Glasses bag, right?
Oh, I don't have a Costco membership. I have a Sam's Club membership. Can you hook me up with that?
Maybe Bailey can.
I'll text her.
All right, so your one balanced meal is pasta, effectively.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm more in line with Derek here. It's tacos.
Well, get your own because I'm eating mine.
To me, it's tacos for the same reason. You get protein, you get a grain, and you can throw rice on it, which is a different type of grain. Lettuce. I always throw lettuce, tomato, a little bit of cheese on it. I was having black beans with mine last week, which I don't normally do, but I was feeling like black beans.
Clear of you.
No, it's onions. Onions is the problem. I avoided the onions this time. So
onions make you gassy?
I might need to go see a dietitian at some point. We'll put it that way.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a real question. Why did you look at each other?
I love onions,
I
jalapenos.
Do too. I really do. I
do too.
Without getting
sour cream.
Without getting too TMI, I thought for a while tomatoes were causing like bowel issues. And I think
eat
it's
tomato
now.
And you'd be like,
everyone's shutting this podcast off right now.
And I love tomatoes. Like,
no, this is real life.
If I have to kill tomatoes out of my diet, like I don't know what I'm going to.
We just heard clicks across the board. Everyone said, "I'm done listening to this."
No, they feel related to.
Speaking of the void,
they're
now.
like, "This is relatable." It's true. And as you get older, it gets even better.
Yeah,
it gets so much better.
This is a problem I didn't have in my 20s. I have it now. I might have a food allergy of some sort.
Listen, enjoy it, Brendan. Enjoy it because. You get into your 30s, you're like, yeah, I'm 30s, and then...
I didn't go yay.
Then you get older and you're like, what's that? What's happening? Why?
I'm still waiting for.
Why is a lot? That happens a lot.
I'm still waiting for the time to come for me when I hear people talk as they get older that they can't eat this anymore. They can't eat that. I mean, I eat right now what I did 20 years ago, and I mean it doesn't keep me up, except for when I overloaded on jelly that one night and I woke up.
Jelly.
Oh yeah, I had a.
This
is about 4 years ago when I ate. It wasn't on bread. It was literally peanut butter and jelly on a plate, just
smeared on.
And I
wait, you were just eating it straight, like with a spoon or something?
Yes. And
you were out of bread and you were desperate?
No, we had bread. I just wanted to watch the carbs, so I didn't eat
That's
bread.
interesting.
And I woke up. I probably went to bed at my usual around 2:30 in the morning, and I woke up at like 5 and was just for the next like 4 hours.
Well, you basically just put paste in your stomach, and you wake up.
Was it like a
bringing back up what I had eaten? If you want to call that sweating bullets.
Was it a forward motion or a backwards motion?
Oh, it was projectile. It was projectile.
Hey.
That sounds like something else was wrong.
Oh, that's
and it was purple.
Honest. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was grape jelly. It
and
was
listen,
purple.
so can you eat grape jelly?
I have kind of steered clear from it since.
I didn't eat bananas for a long time as a kid because I got sick a couple hours after eating a banana, and it was only 10 years ago that I started eating bananas again.
Listen.
It was like a 15-year stretch I didn't touch them.
Food poisoning, Las Vegas. Didn't know what it was. Had to be removed from my house by firefighters. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand up. Jeez. They wrapped me in a sheet. So just, right? And they carried me down, and I got into the ambulance and was moaning, and they were testing my blood for drugs, and there was nothing in my system. And, of course, they asked my roommate. She's like, I don't know what you took. I'm like, I didn't take anything. I was eating this, like, Chex Mix thing that she made and drinking Mountain Dew. Hey, Derek. And I had a vision.
No one knows what that's in reference to.
Derek loves Mountain Dew. I had a vision of my lunch at Caesar's Palace. I'd go to this one place that had the best soup ever, and it was a bread bowl, and it was lobster bisque, and I just started yelling lobster bisque, lobster bisque. I spent the entire night in the hospital in a bedpan and a diaper. Boom.
You need to write a book.
And I'm telling you what.
Your life is weird.
My roommate came to get me the next day, and I'll just say this. I had to leave in the robe they gave me because she forgot to bring clothes for me. And when I woke up in the morning, the nurses were, cleaning things up and said your mother called. And I was like, of course she did. Felt like I was dying. It was awful. So when people say they got sick, I'm like, did you? Did you get food poisoning? Were you removed from two very attractive looking firefighters? And you're like, this was not the vision for me being saved by firefighters. This was not how this was supposed to go.
The books are not what happens in real life. If firefighters are coming to save you, you are in a position of distress.
Like they were so tall that when they lifted me up, I was like floating across the living room. Like my toes were hanging and I was floating. And it was like a toga party that I always wanted to go to, except that's not the toga party I wanted to go to. Anyways, back to you guys.
Were they like bare chested except for their suspenders?
No, they had just like the t-shirt and the suspenders and like the boots.
Suddenly the pants are off.
And there was like hats on, and I was like,
turns out this was all just a vivid dream.
No, it was real. I actually have still on my wrist right here. Here's where they put the IV in I still have a dot right here. This was the only place they could find a vein.
That's crazy.
How long ago was this?
This was when I lived in Vegas when I was a showgirl. True story. 2007? 2006.
Were you on like
February of 2006?
Right after Wayne Newton?
No.
And before the Elvis impersonators?
No, I was in like a full production show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Laura's lived 3 or 4 lives.
A few. I was thinking about that the other day.
Like I said, you should write a book.
Hey, listen, you guys.
You should write a book.
You don't have to just be one thing in this lifetime. Like Derek.
Are you urging me to quit?
No, that's not what I'm urging you to do. Wow. Okay. Let's put that
Walks out of the studio.
He's like, all right.
That's the only sign I needed.
No, I think that it's just interesting how these things just happened.
Well, from tacos are the food of choice for a balanced diet to
lobster bisque
induced.
That's not a
hospital
balanced
stays
diet.
To
Butler County Classic. Butler County Classic. That's just the natural progression. Jake, you got the rundown for us. Butler County Classic held over the weekend at Seneca Valley's next year's stadium.
Should I do the Family Guy bit of it was cold? You just walk out.
No.
And here's Ollie with the weather. It's cold.
That was so good.
I've done a lot of. I mean, Will and I watch Family Guy all the time, so I've got a lot of practice.
I do not do good impressions, so I'm not going to try. Yeah, it was very cold and windy and occasionally sunny. Usually not at Seneca Valley. Yep. I don't like this weather that we're dealing with. Whatever chaos we're getting every other day, I'm tired of it. Let's just move on. Good day all in all. Not too many PRs. For the most part, the athletes and teams were just trying to make sure they stayed healthy, stayed warm. It was a lot of blankets, a lot of layers. One of the most entertaining, I think one of the most energetic moments of the day was near the end as the boys pole vault was wrapping up. And I think one other event, they announced over the intercom that there were pretzels and a couple other remaining foods left for the athletes if they wanted any for free. And all of a sudden you see 24 just sprint up the stairs towards the concession stand. But we had a good conclusion. The boys pole vault ended last and was a little bit longer. Everything had wrapped up for about 15, 20 minutes. But Jason Wood kind of had to keep everyone waiting around a little bit longer because he wanted to set a PR and then he wanted to try to break that PR. Very selfish, man. No, it was good day for him. The Butler senior hit 15.0, which is a meet record, I believe. It was definitely a personal best. There's video that we have up on butlereagle.com, highlights from the day, including his meet record and PR vault, in which he lands, gets up, backflips while on the pad, which is kind of impressive because it's not like he has a whole lot of ground support there to get the backflip off, but lands it too. So lands the vault, lands the backflip. He went for 15.2, didn't get that, which would have been a national qualifying standard, I believe is what it was. But still a really good day. Butler's boys relays dominated as expected, swept all three. The Lazaro sisters, who I'll have a story about in the next week or so, coming up on just their rivalry and competitiveness and everything else. They had a good day all in all. Anna's coming back from a hamstring injury. She missed most of the indoor season, so she's still slowly ramping up a little bit. Jordan Monteleone from Seneca Valley won the girls high jump, I believe. It was just it was mostly just get out of the day healthy, put some decent times up. Butler's got to meet on Monday today, 2 days after that, Butler County Classic, in which they're facing North Allegheny. So they weren't going to do their best. They wanted to stay healthy, not too tired going into a much bigger dual meet. So really not much to take away from this. We got the Butler Invitational on April 18th, which I think is going to tell us a lot more about some of our athletes.
Yeah, it's like 90 schools are coming to that. The Lazaro sisters, are they seniors now?
Juniors.
One
more year.
All right.
Big recruiting year for them too.
Awesome. So from current sports to taking a look back into the past, we got an interview with upcoming Butler County Sports Hall of Famer Brad Mueller, and that's for you right now.
I already committed to Boston College, and Penn State had something. It was in the summer where you could go and do like a 40 and different things like that. So I went, and it was my senior year, but I already committed, and I was just doing it for fun. And I got there, I ran my 40, and coach on the stopwatch goes, "Run again." I said, "Okay." I ran again. He goes, "There's something wrong with my watch. Run again." So
does he had a different watch at this for the third one?
And so he had someone else time me, and then he finally figured out who I was, and then everything ended up being all right. But yeah, it was quite an interesting experience, especially as an 18-year-old, someone sitting there telling you keep running, you're I'm doing something wrong, but so that was an interesting experience.
Do you know what they clocked you at?
The crazy thing, even after all that, he still wouldn't tell me.
Well, I believe, I'm not sure about that day, obviously, but I believe you still hold the county record in the 100 here, all-time county record at 10.5.
That's I couldn't run 20 yards in 10.5.
There's a kid from Butler, Guinness Brown. Brendan, you'll remember him just a couple of years ago. Ran I think it was a 10.54.
Wow.
So, but Brad's still on top.
Hey, good luck to him.
Joining us in studio today is our guest for the Ion Sports podcast, Brad Mueller, a 2003 Mars High School graduate. Brad will be inducted into the Butler County Sports Hall of Fame in late April. He became a member of the Mars Athletic Hall of Fame 13 years ago after graduating as the school's all-time leading rusher in football and winning 3 individual state titles as a sprinter in track. Brad, we appreciate you making time for us today. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Derek. I'd like to thank you, of course, for having me on.
No problem. We appreciate you being here. So what are your thoughts on being recognized as one of the best athletes ever to come out of Butler County?
It's really special. Butler County played a huge role in shaping who I am, not just as an athlete, but as a person. The coaches, teammates, and the community support here are second to none. If I'm being recognized like that, it's a reflection of all those people who helped me along the way.
In either sport, was there someone you looked up to or inspired you?
Yes, definitely. Growing up around here, I looked up to those early 2000 Steelers teams, guys like Jerome Bettis, Hines Ward. They played with so much toughness and pride. You could tell how much it meant to them. And that kind of attitude sticks with you as a kid. I also loved watching Deion Sanders, how he had that swagger, and just the confidence and energy he brought. I always respected that too. It made you want to play like that as well.
In 2002, the football team that you were part of, that was your senior year, you guys had very high expectations. You were one of a number of experienced players returning that year, but after 6 games, Mars was only 3-3. What do you remember about that up and down start, and what was not happening that you guys had been counting on entering the year?
Yeah, that start was definitely up and down. We had a lot of expectations going into that season. And there were a lot of big roles on that team that guys had graduated from the previous year before. We needed the next group of guys to step up into those spots. Once they settled in and everyone started playing consistently, that's when we really turned into a special team. Looking back, those first 6 games were all part of the process. It just took a little time for everything to click.
You guys didn't lose again the rest of the year. You had 1,043 yards in a 3-game stretch, I believe, against Apollo Ridge and North Catholic and Deer Lakes. Were you in like a flow state there? What was that experience like just during that 3-game stretch to 1,000-yard season in 3 games?
Yeah, that stretch was pretty incredible. Honestly, it wasn't about any one of us trying to put up big numbers. It was just how we were clicking as a team. The line was opening things up. Guys were making plays, and everyone was doing their job. When you got that kind of momentum and chemistry, it just carries you. Looking back, those 3 games felt like we were in sync on every level. And it was really special time for all of us.
So playoff wins over Riverside, Jeanette, and Beaver landed Mars in the Whitbill Class 2A title game against Seton LaSalle at Heinz Field. The season ended there with a 20-6 loss, but I'm interested to find out, there's very few players from the Whitbill, when you look at the overall percentage, that have the opportunity to play for a Whitbill title. You guys were afforded that opportunity. You earned that opportunity. When you think about the different personalities on that team, is there anything that sticks out off the field outside of gameplay during that postseason run that you were either part of or that you witnessed?
Yeah, this group of guys was always together off the field. We hung out. We had our Thursday night dinners. Everyone showed up to every workout and practice. There was a lot of joking around, but everyone had each other's backs, and that bond really carried over onto the field. I'm still best friends with a lot of these guys today, and that shows how close we were as a team.
You also won 2 state titles in the 100 and another one in the 200 on track, so obviously not just a one-sport star here. Football is known as being maybe the ultimate team sport. Track is much more individualistic in a lot of ways. There is the team component to it too, especially like relays and team score and stuff. But how did the 2 experiences compare? Did you relish like the individuality of track a little bit differently than like the team component of football or anything?
I loved it. Track was really rewarding, but I didn't get to put in as much time as I would have liked to because I was playing multiple sports. Still being able to compete at that level and push myself individually was something I did really enjoy.
So you ended up going to Boston College to play football. Did you consider going to school to run track, or was it or was it college football all the way?
So I never really considered track in college. It was football all the way. Scholarship offers started coming in pretty early, which was kind of pushed track out of the picture. And in the end, Boston College was the right fit for me.
What were some of the schools that you got interest from besides BC?
So Wisconsin and Duke were some of the more formal big names.
Wisconsin and Duke. Wow. Those are some big schools. You ended up getting back into track in college, going to SRU. So what was that like, and what did it mean to you to be able to compete closer to home, return to that sport, do so, nearer to family and friends?
So that actually meant a lot to me. When I went there, I wasn't so used to having so much time on my hands. And then I got there and, I kind of found myself, looking for something to do. So I signed up and it ended up working out really well for me.
What did you like about Slippery Rock? I went there too. So,
Slippery Rock, I like the campus there. I thought they had nice athletic facilities. And the students that went there, I really like them.
it's a nice, close feel. It's probably much smaller than Boston College was. So what are you up to these days? Do you still live in Butler County, job, family, that sort of thing?
Yes, I work as a health, safety, and environmental consultant. I do still live in Butler County with my wife and our 2 boys. They're 7 and 10, and they both are really involved in sports. The boys are already talking about breaking my record someday, and life keeps me busy, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
What are some of the players that were part of that senior year for you in football, 2002? What do you remember about their personalities? Was there a person on the team or a couple players on the team that were kind of like this guy, the comic relief guy? I mean, what do you remember about your teammates? Dan Dallator, was he on that team?
Dan Dallator was on that team. Dan Dallator, Ricky Gable, Derek Chaffray, Zach Rosswag,
Tim Bean.
Tim Bean was on that. Yep. Honestly, like I said, we hung out so much. There was never any awkwardness. There was, never, we got along and we were together on and off the field. And no matter what, we always supported each other. And we always knew that we could rely on each other, if we needed something,
And you played for one of the legendary coaches from Butler County, all-time Butler County wins leader, Scott Heinauer. Not just him, but his staff, because I know his staff was together on that team for a long time. What sticks out for you about what you learned from them or the interaction you just had with the coaches?
So that coaching staff, I loved all those guys. Again, I had a great relationship with any one of those coaches. I could talk to them about anything, and everything always just seemed to work out, as it should.
Go ahead.
I remember being on the playground as a kid, and this is like 2nd, 3rd grade. This is literally how we spent the 35, 40 minutes of recess. We had a kid in our class. His name was Jonathan Walker, and he was incredibly fast. And all we did the entire recess period was chase this kid around the playground. That was our goal, to catch him. When did you realize that speed was literally something that you were going to be able to dominate people with? Whether it be on the football field or just in general, when did speed become part of your forte?
So I didn't transfer I didn't go to Mars, so I want to say 5th grade. So I was at Ambridge growing up, and I want to say it was like that 2nd, 3rd grade year. They had us do like 2 laps around this field, and no one was even close. And I think then I was like, something, what's going on here, And then it all started,
The rest is history, as they say.
Derek and I grew up a Steelers fan. Derek's a Steelers fan. Jake, he likes the Eagles. So, you mentioned Hines Ward and Jerome Bettis. What memories do you have of them playing? Because their peak was when I was, I think, 8 years old. So I was pretty young. I still remember Jerome Bettis running over Brian Urlacher, that sort of thing. But do you have any certain block or run that stands out from those guys?
So my dad, we had season tickets to the Steelers game. So
Wow.
my life was Saturday, our game, and then Sunday, we always went to the Steeler games. A particular memory, I don't know, but like I said, when you see those guys and you could tell that they cared, and they were proud, of what they were doing. And that really stuck out to me is something that, you want to be like that. You want people looking up to you because they seemed like really good guys,
Mm-hmm. Do you, were you sad to see Tomlin go? Or are you glad that we're into a new coaching era with the Steelers right now?
I have no idea.
Ask you in 5 years, huh?
Yeah, you never know. Coaches, they take a lot of heat for things, but they're not always to blame. So it's just one of those things. No one really knows what's going on, and hopefully it works out, right?
What's a good story of you being the one to blame from Coach Heinauer? If it's not always the coaches, when did you screw up a good one once?
So I screwed up every play according to him. So, but again, that's just one of those things where, that you and the coaches have that special relationship where, you got to take that as constructive criticism, not as an insult, right? And if you can just get to that point with your coaches, it all works out at the end.
I got a funny story I want to tell here. I didn't know if we were going to have time for it, but this would have been – I started at the Eagle here in April 2002. So this would have been about a month after I started. This is back in the day when we covered the Baldwin High School Track and Field Invitational every year because there were so many teams down there, and it seemed like every Butler County team was down there. So this would have been your junior year, spring of 2002. I get down there and I got my list, right? I'm still trying to learn the ropes of local sports coverage. I got my list of local Butler high schools. And here's who I got to keep track of: Mars, Butler, Seneca Valley. I get down there and I'm like on the opposite side of the field from where they're giving medals out, and I hear the PA announcer say, and capturing first place in the 100-meter dash at the 2002 Baldwin Invitational from Mars High School, Brad Mueller. And I'm like, okay, that's one of my schools. So I turn around and I saw you getting off the medal stand. And I tried to keep my eye on you because I didn't want to lose track of you. And here you're leaving the stadium. Baldwin High School's football stadium, if you remember, it kind of sits in a bowl, and there's steps that lead up to the parking lot. And you're running up the steps. I'm like, where is this kid going? He's trying to avoid me. So I get up there, and I don't know what you had going on that night, whether it was a prom or something, but I finally catch you. I had a heart attack doing it. I catch you just as you're getting to your car, and I said, hey, Brad, I'm Derek from the Butler Eagle, and I got to interview you because you just won the 100. So do you remember? I mean, was it a prom? Was it another event you were going to that day? This would have been May of 2002. After all these years, I finally got a chance to ask you.
I do not remember. Yeah, in May 2002, I probably had another sporting event I was trying to get to.
Lucky didn't pull pepper spray out on you.
Man, I'm lucky I made it up that hill. I mean, I almost had a heart attack. And believe me, this is 24 years ago. I was in better shape then than I am now, but I wasn't a state class sprinter like this guy.
You could speak to this a little bit. So, like, over the weekend, I covered the Butler County Classic, and it's 40 degrees at best and windy and cold. There's barely any sun. Like, that's football weather normally, so that's probably something you would have been used to in the fall. But were you able to adapt to that compared to some other track? Like, when you had those early April, late March meets, did that affect you at all as a runner, or did you just kind of shake it off because you were used to football?
No, that definitely is a problem. Like in football, you're moving, so you stay warm. In track, you get that 10 seconds and then you're silent for 2 hours, and it is really hard to get warmed back up and try to stay warm to perform at that level. So yeah, the spring season is very difficult to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
My first year here, John sent me to cover Seneca Valley track and field meet, and I didn't look at the weather beforehand. I went in a short sleeve shirt. It was like 30 degrees with wind, so it was freezing out.
Short sleeve.
I sat in the bathroom for half of it. I couldn't sit under the tent there. I couldn't sit outside. I didn't have a jacket, so I was like, I'll figure this out later.
He sat in the
bathroom.
As you watch your kids now playing sports, if you were to like hop in a time machine and be able to, I guess not really a time machine, if you were able to be 16 again for a year and play football with all the changes that have happened in the last 24 years or so, how do you think you would still be able to play? Would you still be running back? Would you be doing something else on the field because of the way that schemes and coaching and everything has changed?
So I would like to say yes, I'd still be running back, but I don't know if I'd be given that opportunity with my size. But I would definitely want to do that. That was my specialty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely push my kids in that direction of a specialty player, running back, quarterback, receivers, things like that.
What are they playing right now on the field? What's their positions?
So my older son plays wide receiver and corner, and my younger son he actually played his first football season last year. He was playing quarterback and corner.
All right.
But they're young and they're still learning and see how it all works out.
Got to grow quite a bit between now and high school too.
Yes.
Oh, there was a time when this guy was in the paper all the time between track and field and, of course, football. And can't tell you how enjoyable it was for me personally because I've been here for 24 years to finally catch up with you. It was great, Brad. I appreciate the time. We appreciate the time. And you're already a Mars Hall of Fame inductee, and congratulations on the one coming up later in April for the Butler County Sports Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad. We appreciate the time.
Thank you so much,
guys.
Brad.
Hey, Derek, it'd be pretty cool. A lot of people listen to this podcast, we know, from plenty of different countries, such as
New Zealand, right?
There's one that's out there. Wasn't one like the tropical islands, something like that, Laura?
I think there was one in the Caribbean.
I'm looking right now. Stay tuned. Keep talking.
Well, if you appreciate us getting together for an hour and a half each week and talking about anything from tomatoes hurting our stomach to
Tomatoes. It was onions.
Emergency runs to the bathroom.
to Derek talking about his college experience and moving 2 hours away for certain reasons. It'd be really cool if you would rate and review our podcast and give us positive ratings. I know sometimes we like to ramble on, but we like to entertain you. So it'd be really cool if you could help us out and rate and review us.
It's like a report card.
When
I was in elementary school, I didn't mind getting report cards because I made good grades. When I got into junior high, I hit a couple rough patches, but
Got in with the wrong
grade
crowd.
us. We're grown men. We can take it. I think we can.
I think two of us are grown men. I won't say which one's the not grown man.
Sorry, Derek.
But yes, please rate, review, tell us what you think. You can also shoot us emails at our staff emails if you would like to give us ideas to talk about on the show. We would appreciate it. We're always looking to serve our loyal readers and listeners.
Yeah, if you're from the United States, China, France, Singapore, Germany, Spain, Canada, Brazil, Bangladesh, Argentina, Italy, Mexico, Nepal, and the Bahamas.
Nepal.
We're missing Canada. How dare you?
Somebody in the Himalayas is watching us. Think about that.
But not Canada.
We're keeping them warm. I think she mentioned Canada. I think
No.
No, Canada.
We're not popular north of the border. What the heck's going on here?
Gotta talk about more
Gretzky.
hockey. Seneca Valley hockey.
I need to talk to Wayne.
We do. Do it, Laura.
I'm going to try.
Rate and
Okay.
review. Especially you, Canada.
Rex
We're watching you. Well done.
All right, Brendan. 2021. Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama, wins the Heisman Trophy. Who placed third that year?
Ooh.
Kenny Pickett.
Oh, he nailed it. Wow. Nice job.
That was not.
I was going to say, you better not get that one wrong because everybody knows he should have won that
Was
year.
Chase Young also there?
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure Chase Young was in that class.
I can Google it.
Might have been 2019, actually.
Yeah, I'm all discombobulated here.
Aiden Hutchinson was runner-up.
Yep.
And your boy, C.J. Stroud, was fourth.
Chase Young was 2019 then because he was in the NFL.
Ya
by 2020.
boy.
Your boy.
Kenny got robbed.
No, he didn't.
That was a really good year. He had a very good year, especially considering no one thinks anything of Pitt football for like the last, 15, 20 years. So
Thanks for kicking me while I'm down, Jake.
beating expectations, usually that's kind of an MVP sign or Heisman Trophy sign or Coach of the Year sign.
We did produce LaShawn McCoy, who did some good work for your Eagles.
They did.
And
Avonte Maddox.
And arguably the best nose tackle in the
Aaron
history of
Donald.
the NFL.
Aaron Donald.
Or is he a nose tackle or would he be defensive tackle? What would he?
I
too
guess
big
it
to-
depends on if he played 3-4 or 4-3,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
I
can't
think he was
remember.
more DT because he wasn't that big.
But
Nose
he
tackle's
was
more of a run stuffer.
absolutely dominant.
He was so
Aaron
fun to
Donald.
watch in the NFL. I didn't know anything about him in Pitt. I wasn't paying attention those years, but very good NFL player, obviously.
So, Brendan, I think you're now you missed last week, so I believe you're now 4-4.
He's doing better than you.
Yeah, he is. I think when I pulled the plug on myself, I was 3-11.
Flatlined.
Yeah, flatlined.
I pulled the plug on myself.
So it's one thing to make the major leagues. Listen to this. You got some stuff that you need to inform our viewers of here. It's one thing to make the major leagues. It's another thing to homer in your first major league game, and that is what Mars' own JJ Wetherholt did last week for the St. Louis Cardinals. You got an update on his stats? How much has he played since then?
So not only did he homer in his first at bat, but the next day he had a walk-off hit. So
10th inning, right?
I don't know what inning it was. I saw a stat, though, that he is the first player in Major League history, and there's been a lot, to have a homer in his first game and a walk-off hit in his second game as a rookie.
Wow.
So he's doing pretty well to start out, I guess I would say there. Through 13 at-bats, he has 4 hits. He scored 2 runs. He has the homer we talked about, 4 RBI, and he is slashing .308, .333, .538, which is pretty ridiculous. So he is everything that the St. Louis Cardinals were hoping that they got when they drafted him 7th overall.
It's crazy. There's people that know baseball and know it well are already they're projecting that he's at least going to be a strong candidate for, if not win, the NL Rookie of the Year award. So,
And his best competition was Connor Griffin, but the longer Griffin stays in the minors with the Pirates, the easier path it is for JJ. So that could be like a really interesting hometown dynamic to watch is does the local boy get it or does the local team get it?
yeah. And does every team in the major leagues now play every other team?
Yes.
It's like hockey now.
Yes. 2 series. You get
Oh,
home
that's
and away.
yeah. That's
Or no. Sorry. You get home and away against one division like you do like in the NFL where you face one division in the opposite conference. And in MLB, it's home and away against those teams. And I think the other 2 you face home or away for one series.
no. They didn't actually play at Mars at the same time, but since the Cardinals play the Yankees this year,
Mm-hmm.
there could be a situation where JJ Wetherholt walks to the plate and who's pitching? Another Mars graduate, Dave Bednar. Bednar graduated in 2013 and Wetherholt was like 2021, so they were not close to being on the same team. But just the fact that they're from the same high school, that would be, and obviously both from Butler County, that would be pretty cool.
Could have an all-star game situation in a year or 2.
That is nuts. That's nuts.
That would be cool.
And don't forget, Dave's younger brother, Will, is still lurking in the Giants organization. He could certainly make his debut here at some point for the Giants if everything goes well for him. So Mars's cup runneth over.
We might have a few more Butler County guys reach to professional level too, and I talked to them last week. The story will be out later this week. Hopefully finish it sometime tonight. But Nolan Stefanik and Kyle Castile, the pitchers at Butler, crazy 1-2 punch on the mound. I'm sure that every team that has to play them in a 3-game series is just shaking their heads walking in. Like, we have to play Nolan Stefanik first, and then Kyle Castile, who told me his fastball is hitting 96 right now, which is...
He wasn't at 90 last year, right? Or was it Stefanik that was barely touching it?
I think they were both barely touching 90.
Okay.
But they both told me that they had some goals this season. Both of them said the main goal is Whipple Championship. And they saw Seneca Valley do it last year. They have 3 kids going D1, including Maverick Clement, their catcher. So
He's going to Pitt, right?
yeah, they're loaded with talent, and they have a chance to talk to scouts. Scouts have been at their games. So the next Butler game I go to cover, I guess scouts are sitting with guns behind the plate, the radar guns clocking them. So that's really cool. Not only one player, but 2 players, and they're very close friends. They could be in the pros by this time next year if they get drafted and choose to go that route.
You said Castile's hitting 96.
Yep.
No thanks. I'm going to stick with being the bat boy. I mean, it doesn't even have to be chin music for me not to want to face that. I mean, it could be 3 feet outside. I'm like, yeah.
Imagine getting done with like algebra class and you have to walk up to the plate and try and hit that. Like,
No thanks. It is time for the Beyond Butler segment, where we talk about something outside of Butler County, whether it be professional or college sports. And another Butler County product is making news, and that is Seneca Valley graduate Easton Bozzoli. He's the head coach of Gannon men's basketball, and the Golden Knights are playing for the NCAA Division II National Championship this coming Sunday in Indianapolis against Lander University. He's only 30 years old. Mm-hmm. I mean, he only graduated 13 years ago. So he's like 30, 31 years old, and this is an incredible feat. Obviously, there still needs to be one game to be played, but just getting to the national championship as a 30, 31-year-old head coach, that's pretty remarkable.
It is. I mean, he graduated high school when I graduated college, just to put that into perspective a little bit. We don't get to see too often graduates from any area move on to this kind of success. I mean, this is Division II, but this is the kind of move. I don't know what Bozzoli's career goals might be, but this is the kind of success that could lead to bigger jobs at the Division I level potentially. I again don't know what he's thinking, but that would be kind of cool to have a Division I level head coach at some point, or assistant coach. You know, we have the Butler grad, who, blanking on his name. This is great show hosting. That went to Purdue and Colorado State.
Ethan Morton,
who's on the coaching staff at Indiana State, or I guess the front office you could call it now. I'm not really sure how that works.
Larry Bird School.
Illinois State.
Oh, Illinois State.
I'm just ruining everything about Ethan Morton. I'm sorry, Ethan.
I'll never come back on the show.
Yeah, he's been friend of the show, and now he's going to listen to this and be like, that idiot. No, you just don't see this too often. That's two alumni of this area that we know of that are in the coaching / front office ranks, right?
Yeah.
There's not many more, I'm guessing, in the college. In college.
I don't want to say a lot of times, guys, I didn't even find out about Bozzoli until over the weekend, so I don't want to say no more, but let's put it this way, the list is incredibly short.
Mm-hmm.
You covered Bozzoli in high school, right?
I did.
So he was in high school around the same time I was. I wasn't versed on Seneca Valley basketball back then. But what do you remember about him during his playing days there with the Raiders?
Well, I do remember him being very long and athletic. That's one thing that sticks out when I think about covering Easton Bozzoli. And this is back when I covered, 6-7 Seneca Valley games a year. He by the time he was a senior, he was a 6'5" guard. And that year, the 2012-13 season, he won our Player of the Year. Now, he didn't put up any, monster numbers like 25 points a game, but he did so many things well for the Raiders that year. 15 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and he also helped Seneca Valley tie the school record for most wins in the season with 17, and they also made the state playoffs that year for just the third time in their history. And he was kind of the leader of the pack. They had other good players, but he was definitely their best player, and we figured, hey, this team kind of made history that year, and they have a player who's really good and is able to do a lot of things. So that was the deciding factor in him being named our Player of the Year. I do want to point out one thing regarding the game coming up, and I did a little bit of research, didn't take long. Bozzoli's team, Gannon, they have scored at least 100 points in 13 games this year.
Crazy.
The team they're playing, Lander, which is from South Carolina, by the way, they have reached 100 points in a game once this year. So the task facing Lander is finding a way to slow this Gannon team down. And obviously it's going to be easier said than done, but it looks like it's basically a championship game that pits two teams with contrasting styles.
It's interesting to me too, having seen PSAC basketball and written for the Slippery Rock basketball team when I was there. Like, IUP has always been the power, it seems, in the PSAC, where they're making deep runs. Slippery Rock could never go past them. And Gannon, obviously, it's private school in Erie, right? So they've had a bit more funding. I remember talking to Slippery Rock's soccer coach, and every time they went up against Gannon, he would talk afterwards about, well, we don't have the scholarship money like they do, and that's why we get beat. So maybe they were on track with NIL before or as that has become a thing, because it's not a big thing at Slippery Rock, right? Like we barely see guys get an
At least what
there.
they've been
So,
talking about, yeah.
yeah, well, they're having success. Gannon's always been one of those schools that has been in the top tier of the PSAC, I feel like. So it's cool to see another PSAC school on national level.
Absolutely. And they're 30-3, by the way. Gannon, impressive record, and their opponent Lander is 30-5. So this game's taking place in Indianapolis on Easter Sunday. So 1:00.
Yep.
If there's a chance you could find, I think ESPN Plus is carrying it.
Where do they play in Indy? Is it Lucas Oil or
no? It's a field
Butler's
house.
field house?
It's Gainbridge Fieldhouse, wherever the
where the
that is.
Pacers play?
There
Yeah.
you go. Pacers play at a field house. That's cool.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's called Fieldhouse. You guys are PSAC grads. Who was your biggest rival for your individual schools?
When I was at Clarion, it was Cal.
Cal,
It was Cal.
IUP. Interesting. Just curious.
Well, this is back when, wrestling has always been strong at Clarion. Their women's volleyball team has been really good for years. My freshman year, this is just a small story, and you guys are probably going to beat me up after the show for this. My freshman year, Clarion's football team was really, really good. Now, this is before I joined the TV station. I didn't join the TV station until the next year, and that's when I had to go to games because we were calling them. But my freshman year, they won the PSAC title. They made the national playoffs. And the national semifinal game, this is Final Four, is at home at Clarion, and I did not go to it. It's on campus, and I did. They played Northern Colorado. Remember Aaron Smith, the Steelers defensive? He was on that team. They played Northern Colorado at home. I believe the final score is something weird like 18-17. Clarion had a chance to win it at the end with a last second. I think it was like a 35-yard field goal, and the kicker kicked it right into the line, hit like the center in the butt, and that was the end of that.
It's funny because Slippery Rock made the national semifinals in 2019, I think it was, and they had Shane Zylstra on their team. He's a tight end for the Lions now, but when Adam Thielen was with the Steelers, he went to the same school that Slippery Rock faced in that semifinal, Minnesota State, and part of why I went up and was able to talk to Adam Thielen was I wore my Slippery Rock hoodie all the time, and then I went up to him, I was like, I know Shane Zylstra, because Shane Zylstra broke all of his records, and he wore 84 in purple and gold. He looked like Randy Moss. So it's funny, an NFL guy beats your team. An NFL guy beat my team too.
I do want to throw this out there. The years just before I got to college, like 92, 93, 94, IUP had been to several national championship games. I think they lost them, but they had gotten to the national championship game in football. So IUP was a very big rival too. But I also remember those Vulcans from Cal. They were tough.
That is
and they
good
still
name.
are. IUP and Cal are always good in football.
I like the Vulcans nickname. That's a good one.
You like that?
Like we talk about favorite nicknames. Vulcans is a good one. I enjoy that one.
I often
as a Trekkie, especially
think back. I don't regret any decision I made regarding where I went to college but when I was coming out of high school, California is literally like, if you take the back roads from my house, it's like 35 minutes from my house. And obviously there was a chance that I could have gone there. They had a very strong communications department at Cal. I ended up going to Clarion because one of the big reasons was it was 2 hours away from home. And I knew that if I went there, my mom would not show up every weekend with the white glove test. If I would have went to Cal, my parents would have been like, "Oh, why don't you just commute?" Oh, I don't want to commute. I wanted to get out and spread my wings as far as they would go, anyhow. So that's a big reason why I went to Clarion.
Your eagle wings, huh?
Yeah, my eagle wings. Yeah,
Golden Eagles. Now we're here at the Butler Eagle.
They got clipped a long time ago.
When you're shoveling that snow.
Oh,
I didn't look at a single school within an hour and a half of my parents. My parents also wanted me to go to community college to save some money for a year or two, and I was like, nope. And it ended up being a good. Temple was 2 hours away, a little under 2 hours away. Perfect distance. And I needed to go home. Could get there pretty easily.
Weren't you considering Quinnipiac?
Quinnipiac, yep. That's an awesome campus, by the way.
It's
It's
in
really
New York?
cool. Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
It is about an hour or two away from the ESPN Bristol
Wow.
campus. Yeah. It's I would have gone there if not for the cost of tuition. Even with the scholarship that's offered, it wasn't anywhere close to what I could get or what I would pay at Temple.
You got a Quinnipiac hat?
I got a shirt.
Say that
point.
fast
Yeah,
3
when I
times.
did my
You
tour,
got a
I shirt.
Quinnipiac hat?
Quinnipiac hat. Quinnipiac hat.
I don't know if I told this story on the.
Hat.
It's not much of a story, but just this anecdote on the show before. When I did my campus tour, I'm split off into the journalism communications part of the group. A couple hundred kids come out for the visitation that weekend, and near the end, they take you up to. Or no, when we were roughly done, there was a gap. My parents and I got back in the car and we drove up to the basketball and hockey arena, which is a joint arena. But it's not a joint arena in the sense of like they put those really heavy pads down over the ice and then the court down for the basketball game. It's an arena with ice hockey on one side and basketball on the other. So you walk in and the main concourse is in between the two of them. It was a really cool look, and it's on the other mountain. The where the campus is, there's a mountain that's kind of overlooking the campus. I shouldn't say mountain. It's like the hills here in Western PA. But from ground level, it's obviously a couple hundred feet high. It looks pretty imposing. There's a road that splits the two mountains, and over on the mountain on the other side is where they have that arena, those two arenas, and they had just built it like 2 years before. So it's brand new, and you can step out, go to the edge of the parking lot, and look down all the way across to where the campus is. It was just a really neat campus.
That could have been your home, Jake.
It could have been. Very happy with the decision I made, though. Ended up being better because I was in a city where I could do more things, see more stuff. Like Quinnipiac was kind of in the middle.
Be close to your Phillies, yes.
That too.
And your Eagles.
My first fall on campus, the Phillies went back to the World Series after winning in 2008. And they were going to face the Yankees because the Yankees had already clinched the AL pennant. Phillies needed an extra game or two to beat the Dodgers. So we all rushed out onto Broad Street yelling certain things at the Yankees before they would smoke us 4-1.
Well, that's it. Get your trash talk in before the game starts if you know you're going to get your butt beat.
Legitimately thought they were actually going to win that series, and then the bats just completely disappeared. But anyway, I got my World Series.
Jake digresses.
I digress.
We'll see you next week.
I didn't know.
I got all discombobulated there. We encourage you to subscribe to the Butler Eagle YouTube channel and Apple or Spotify podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Alter Eagle Podcast and at Butler Eagle News. Goodbye.